Hello, hello, my lovely angels. This is your girl Sim back with another episode of the Sim Squad. Hi. Today I have a pretty interesting video for you because I have not done something like this ever, I think. Or maybe I have, I don't know. My brain has become like a sieve, When you put stuff in it, it just falls out. Nothing retains at all. Today I have unisex perfumes. Now I do have like a lot of unisex perfumes obviously because a lot of Middle Eastern perfumes are in fact unisex. But these are the ones that are currently my favorite and also are beast mode. These perfumes I've chosen specifically because they perform really well. They are worth it. At least for me, it's definitely something I will be using. Ali uses it as well once in a while. As and how we go, I'll let you know if Ali uses them or not. And I'll let you know why I like these perfumes. I have about 15 perfumes, so this is going to be a long one. So grab a cup of coffee or a cuppa or anything, just relax, chill out and watch the video. I'm going to go very quickly with these perfumes because I can't do in-depth for 15 perfumes in one video. It's going to be like a 2-hour long video and I don't want to do that. Not just because of information retention for everybody, but also for my sanity when it comes to editing. So let me start quickly with the first one. This is from Al Haramain and it is the Amber Oud Tobacco edition. I have the 60 ml if I'm not mistaken. This is not the full size. I really do think the bottles of these are really, really cute. Although I like none of the others. I mean, I've not tried the new one, so I can't say the entire line is not like worth it. But I haven't tried the new ones, the Dubai Aqua, or like they have a couple of them that I've not tried. But the old ones that were released before this one, I'm not so like fond of them. That's why I've not got any of these. Plus, this can cost you a pretty penny. So this is supposed to be inspiration for Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford, which is why I think this is like a very, very unisex perfume. I absolutely love it because, you don't need, first of all, many sprays for this. Like 2-3 sprays is like more than enough. It leaves a very beautiful, sweet, tobacco-y oud trail. I can clearly smell a lot of spices in this one. Right off the bat, the cinnamon and star anise are like right there in the front, along with clove and incense as well. And the oud is coming in the form of incense. So it's not like the oudi oud or the banyadi oud. It's a cold, incensey oud. Comes in like a little smokiness as well. So this perfume definitely leans slight bit more masculine than unisex, But for me, like for night outs where I'm going to a party where I want to be impressive and I want people to smell my perfume and nobody else's, actually quite a few over here will be one of those where people will smell your perfume first and then everybody else's. It's probably going to be like who's smelling like this and people scan the room and there you are wearing this perfume. The top notes are tobacco leaf, cinnamon, black pepper and ginger. So a whole lot of spices along with that tobacco. Middle notes of vanilla, clove, star anise, cacao, tonka bean and incense. And the base notes of tobacco, dried fruits and woodsy notes. Smells very much like a spice market in the Middle East. That's like the simplest way I can explain this perfume. This is going to last you 8+ hours. It projects like 4 to 5 feet. It's going to leave a long scent trail behind you, in front of you, everywhere. It'll fill up the room and leave everybody in awe. Beautiful scent. So that's your first one. Next one is Shaghaf Oud Royale by Swiss Arabian. Now this perfume, I haven't mentioned this much on my channel. And that's because this smells very similar to a perfume I absolutely love and adore for the past 2 years. And that's your Majd Al Oudh, Oud for Glory by Latafa. This is almost identical. It is your woody, spicy perfume. And if I'm not mistaken, these were inspirations for Inicio's Oud for Greatness. It's your typical Middle Eastern oud rose perfume. Now, how is it different from Shaghaf Oud? In this, you have more of woody notes and oud as opposed to the rose, right? As a matter of fact, they have not even mentioned rose. But you know what? I can smell the rose. Like it's there mildly. So I don't know what's going on with the notes, but I remember even for Oud for Glory, the notes were very confusing. And I do smell like a whole lot of sweetness in this, and the sweetness does smell somewhat like jammy rose. But of course, there's a lot of saffron as well, so I don't know if that sweetness is coming from the saffron as well. The top notes for this are saffron and lavender, middle notes of oud and nutmeg, and the base notes of musk and patchouli. So yeah, it is definitely very woody, very earthy, very sweet. On the gender meter, it's like right in the middle. Not masculine, not feminine, like bang on in the middle. I feel if a woman wears this, it just transforms into a feminine perfume. Guy wears it, it'll be like a very masculine fragrance. If you want like a very basic oud perfume which smells not banyadi, definitely, it's oudi for sure. So if you're not very used to oud, fair caution, you need to try this first. It's definitely not a safe blind buy. Any oud perfume I think is not like a safe blind buy unless you're buying the oud perfumes from Kiali. Those are pretty safe, but the proper Middle Eastern fragrances like these, if they say oud, they mean business. This is definitely an occasion perfume or an event perfume that you would wear in the evening. I would rather wear this during fall winter, but even on summer nights if I'm going for events and stuff, like it's an impressive perfume, like a make an impression kind of perfume, you know. I really like this fragrance, and in summer, in winter, I'll definitely be pulling this out more. I'll be wearing this more. Actually, a lot of these perfumes will prepare you for the fall winter season. The projection again is like 4 feet at least, and depending on how much you spray, you don't need a lot of sprays for this as well. And the longevity, again, it's like 8+ hours. Most of these are going to be monster projectors. Next, we have one from Khadlaj that I've not spoken much about. It's because, again, it's a very occasion fragrance. This is your Amber Oud from their Karus line. First of all, I just absolutely love these beautiful, stunning bottles. People say that it looks like the bottles of Kilian, kind of, but it has these like stripy things, you know. I haven't worn this perfume much, and again, it's because it's a very winter perfume. Oh my goodness. This is like one of those perfumes that, let's say in the unisex meter, slightly feminine, you know, slightly, you know, because of a very prevalent rose in this. I think I spat a little bit while saying prevalent, you know. But okay, let me tell you the notes. The top notes are blackcurrant and cyclamen on the top. Middle notes are rose, jasmine and narcissus. And the base notes of oud, incense, benzoin and patchouli. You know, sometimes this is what I tell you guys, that my brain thinks faster than my mouth can keep up. So instead of saying incense and benzoins, I said inzoin, you know. And this happens with me a lot. Anyhow, so people say this smells like Tom Ford's Noir de Noir. It's true. If you want to compare this to your Club de Nuit Intense, yeah, by Armaf. Club de Nuit Intense, I had added it to this video and then I took it off because I do feel that one smells very, very feminine. A guy can get away with it, wearing it, but this one is definitely more if you're looking for something that's unisex, especially in the dry down. The opening might be a little too sweet because of the blackcurrant and rose and with like a whole lot of sugary syrupiness. But as and how it fades, the oud and incense starts coming forward. And you also have like a lot of earthy notes with the patchouli. It's a sweet patchouli, so some people might find it a little bit overbearing. But I personally love this fragrance. Again, if you want to make an impression, you would wear this perfume. It's a very ambery, woody fragrance with your rose, you know. So the color of this bottle is very apt because it smells something like this color, you know. It does smell very, very expensive, just like your Noir de Noir. By the way, all the perfumes that I'm mentioning today, unless I don't say otherwise, they all are very Middle Eastern leaning, just to let you know. These are probably, like, I don't know what I should name this video. Should I name it like Middle Eastern leaning unisex perfumes or just unisex perfumes, you know, or high performance unisex perfumes? I'm very confused. Anyhow, Karus Amber Gold. If you like incensey, rose, amber, woody fragrance, you're gonna absolutely adore this perfume. Again, fall, winter, but you can still wear it during summer if you're indoor, not in a very hot, humid climate because you're gonna get choked out. The longevity is 8+ hours. Your projection is like 4 to 5 feet. My rating for this, I would give it like an 8.5. Guys, I know I'm not putting the prices and everything. I'm not telling you the prices, but I'll put it up on the screen for you. Since we are talking about Karus, let's talk about one of my top 3 Khadlaj perfumes, right? And this is your Secret Musk from Khadlaj. It's the same bottle, same everything, but this is white in color. This is your Arabian Oud Tonka by Montal plus BR540. It's a equal mix of both. So this one I feel I can still pull it off during summer. I do. I know people in the elevator, especially in the morning when I step out of the house wearing this. I'm sure in the summer they're choking out and cursing me. But frankly speaking, I don't care. Once it starts drying down, that's when the beauty of this perfume comes out, right? If you have tried Arabian Tonka, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not tried it, please go and try this perfume. I know it's not Middle Eastern, although I do feel Montal and Mansera are very, very Middle Eastern DNAs, right? So when I think of Arabian, when I think of these two brands, I do like kind of consider them to be Middle Eastern because they're very, very Middle Eastern DNA prevalent. This one has the top notes of red fruits and saffron, which is where I guess the Baccarat Rouge thingy comes along with the moss towards the end. I'll let you know. Middle notes of tonka, chocolate, and rose. And the base notes of musk, amberwood, sugary, and moss notes. This is why I say it's a mixture of Baccarat Rouge and your Arabian tonka. It smells like the most cold, well-blended, soft oud, along with woods, moss, your saffron, and slight bit of those red fruits. But then you also have like this chocolate note. It's like the smell of chocolate, right? Don't think of like how a chocolate would taste. Think of like the smell of a chocolate bar along with that little bit of tonka, not like the heavy tonka in Shaghaf Oud tonka. It's nothing like that. I just feel this is a very well blended, very pleasant perfume, and because it has that partial BR 540 kind of touch in it, I feel you can wear it like all the time. Especially when this dries down, it just becomes like a very beautiful, yummy, gourmandy fragrance. It's not a pure gourmand, so don't call me out for that. It's definitely not a pure gourmand. But this is one of those perfumes where that chocolate note is like very, very prevalent. My rating for this is a 10 out of 10. Initially, the projection and longevity of this was slightly above average, but right now it's excellent. Off late, when I've been wearing this is 8+ hours for me. And the projection I would say is like 3 to 4 feet, depending on how much you spray. If you spray a lot, it'll project up to 4 feet. And on the gender meter, it's right in the middle. It's a beautiful fragrance, 10 out of 10 for me. Next, we have something which I got obsessed with recently, and this is the Opulence of Dubai by Swiss Arabian. Can you see how much I finished already? Yeah, that's how much I love this fragrance. And the bottle also is so cute. Look at the color. It's macerating and getting darker and darker thanks to all the vanilla and everything in it. This perfume, whoa. The moment you spray it, it's like spicy, woody. It's both Middle Eastern and Oriental at the same time. I can clearly smell like aromatics in this, incense, ginger, like the spices. It's a very fresh, sophisticated. It smells like an expensive place, like the Opulence of Dubai. The name of this perfume could not get better. Literally feels like the most expensive hotel that you can go in Dubai, which is like the 7-star hotel in the world, the only 7-star hotel, which is your Burj Al Arab, right? It feels like the most expensive bits of Dubai. If I tell you the notes, you'll be like, what's going on? The top notes are bergamot, Italy, ginger, Nigeria, and elemi. Middle notes of rose, damascena, cardamom, pink pepper, and chocolate. And then the base notes you have cedarwood, atlas, vetiver alone, vanilla bourbon, incense, cafe santos, cypriol, and amber. This also kind of, every time I smell perfumes that have that ginger in a certain way, kind of reminds me of Crystal Noir. But this one is like Crystal Noir, 10%, and then a whole lot of other notes, especially your resins, yeah? And your spices, and your bourbon, and your vanilla, and your little bit of incense, and the woodiness. I can't explain this perfume. It's just it's a thing of beauty. You have to smell this perfume to understand how gorgeous it is. This one is a little expensive because it's from their premium collection. It is called the Cities collection from Swiss Arabian. It'll cost you like $110 or so. But I believe a lot of people, not in UAE, in UAE it's never on discount, but I know people have even got this for around $80, like in Europe and everything. So try and look out for a sale on this perfume and then get it, because it is definitely worth every penny. By the way, it macerates like within, let's say 15 to 20 days, the perfume gets a lot more concentrated. So when you spray it initially and if you feel it's not lasting long, just wait, couple of, maybe 2 weeks tops, and then you will see like how strong it gets. 8+ hours, your projection is like, again, like 3 to 4 feet. You don't have to spray a lot of this. It stays on your skin. Like literally when I come home, I can throw my clothes in the laundry and then I can smell this the next day as well. 10 out of 10. Definitely right bang on in the center as a unisex perfume. I think you can wear this in all weather, all day, no problem. Day, night, morning, afternoon, evening, matinee, whatever, like just wear it. It's gorgeous. Next, we have something which has a very similar kind of vibe, and this is very new in my collection, but I've been obsessing over it. This is the Sweet Heaven Extreme version by Gulf Orchid. Yes, the bottle is very beautiful, and as a lot of you all pointed out, it reminds you of some perfume from Fragrance World or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, the bottle is like exactly like that. but the juice. For everybody who says this is Khamrah or Khamrah Qahwa, no. Think of, yes, okay, actually not, let me not say no. It is definitely the Khamrah plus a lot of cherry notes in it. And the cherry is the cherry liquor and it is very, very prominent. So yes, while it does resemble Khamrah a lot, it does have that very prominent cherry note which just makes it very, very different, which is why I actually am gravitating towards this a lot. I know I've not worn this a lot because it's very, very potent, and this is more suitable for your fall and winter, not your summer, which is like right now in Dubai, right? I would say like this is an equal mixture of your Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, your Angel Share, and your Good Girl as well, because the notes, there's certain things in it that will remind you of Good Girl as well. Not sure what it is. It's something in the middle that comes along and you're like, oh my gosh, it's reminding me of Good Girl. But the good parts of Good Girl. If you guys know me, I don't like Good Girl perfume, the original. But in this, the components of Good Girl are very, very beautiful. The top notes for this are coffee, lavender and bergamot. Middle notes of tonka and geranium. And the base notes are cherry liquor, sandalwood and musk. Now on their website they have not mentioned cherry liquor, they have mentioned liquor. But on Fragrantica they have written cherry liquor, and I agree because that cherry note is unmistakable. Like if you're not smelling that cherry, it'll be weird. So I wonder how Fragrantica actually ended up getting the note of cherry liquor, but whereas the original, the actual brand details does not have it. But I can smell the cherry very clearly, and I love this perfume, and I'd given it a 10 out of 10 because it is unbelievably immaculate. Very well blended, very beautiful fragrance, very different from what I've smelled like here and there. It has like a little bit of spiciness, sweetness, your woodiness, but thanks to the lavender, it does smell a little bit modern and a little bit fresh, also because of that combination of lavender and bergamot together. Initially, I thought on the gender meter it was slight bit feminine, but now I feel it's like bang on in the center, and I'm loving this perfume so much. It does have coffee, but not in the barista way. It's a very mild coffee bean kind of notes, not even like the coffee, not instant coffee, not your coffee powder, not your coffee, black coffee or your Americano or something. It's purely that beans, you know, when you smell it, how it smells like. And the geranium is done in the perfect way. Usually if the geranium is like done like a titch, a little bit too much, it's gonna ruin the perfume. It's like properly done, which is why I think this blend is excellent and I am in love with this perfume. 8+ hours, 4 to 5 projection of 4 to 5 feet as well. Next we have a perfume from Khadlaj, and this is the Creation de Reve. I love these bottles so much. They have like 5 of them or something. Epoch Artistique is one that I've been meaning to try, and I need to like speak to them to in the next batch, like try and send me that one because I really do want to review it for you guys. Oh my goodness, this one smells like, it instantly reminds me of goth vampires. It's like dark, mysterious, sexy, but in a very dangerous way. A lot of people might question my taste when it comes to like calling it a unisex perfume, because some people do feel this leans a little masculine. Yes, on the gender meter, slightly masculine I feel, but let it dry down. The initial spray, yes, you do feel like it's like a bomb of patchouli and your woods, but let it calm down. It gets so beautiful. Smells almost damp with your incense, your spicy pepper and a lot of other woods, and then your grounding notes, earthy notes as well. The top notes for this are pepper and incense, middle notes of ambroxan and vetiver, and the base notes of cedarwood, patchouli and gaiac wood. Now vetiver is a note that usually when it's in a perfume it automatically starts leaning masculine, which is why some people might feel that it's going towards the masculine side. But in my opinion, this is a very unisex perfume, very dark, mysterious, like if you, slightly unapproachable as well. Like I feel this is like a bit of a cold perfume. It's not going to give you an inviting vibe to people. You'll definitely smell good, but in an intimidating way, if you know what I mean. The earthiness in this is so beautiful. It literally smells like petrichor, the earth, how it smells like after it rains. And if you take the earth and smell it, like that real earthiness, you know, the wet earth, smells so much like that, along with like your gaiac wood, the woodiness, the vetiver. But then it has like those top notes of your incense and pepper, which make it like more wearable for women as well. I think this is a brilliant perfume. As a matter of fact, today, although my getup doesn't match this perfume, but I will wear this today. Impressive, 10 out of 10, unbelievable. I would say the longevity of this one is around 7 hours. You do need to, 6 to 7 hours. You do need to like apply it like every 6 hours. I actually reapply my perfumes very often, guys. Like I'm a psycho, so I just like keep spraying perfumes like all the time. And if you don't know, I change my perfumes so often during the day. In the morning, if I'm wearing Creation Dairy, by afternoon I'll put on Amber Gold on myself and then change towards the evening with Oud Azraq or Shaghaf Oud or one of those, you know. Like I change my perfumes a lot. It's a very stunning perfume, and I know a lot of people go nose blind to this. So please, if you're feeling that you're not smelling this perfume, ask somebody around you, because there's no way in the world that this is not performing. Next we have Shaghaf Oud Azraq. I could mention all the Shaghaf Ouds, to be honest with you, in this video, but I chose like a few. The black one is literally my favorite, right? It's the Aswad. It's my favorite of all. Actually, Aswad and the new one, the Elixir as well. It's so beautiful. So gourmandy and beautiful. But this one also, I am so obsessed. And when I had sprayed this perfume, I had literally said the crown prince of Dubai would smell like this. It is such an intriguing, mysterious, oh my god, like every time I spray this perfume I just feel like, what even is this? It's so stunning. It kind of smells like this bottle. It's cold, but you know how this reflective thing is? Oh, I don't know. It smells very expensive. I don't know, I don't even know how to describe this like properly, because I get lost with words how stunning this fragrance is. The top notes for this is honey and agarwood. Honey not being the honey which is there in Scandal or something. It's not like the choky, ugly honey. It is like the beautiful honey. The sweetness of honey, you know? And with the agarwood is like the cold agarwood, like the cold wood chips, the oud chips. In the middle, you have cinnamon, amber, and Madagascar vanilla. And in the base, you have leather and patchouli. The leather is the nicest leather I have ever smelled in my life. They're not animalic. It's a strange leather. It smells like a bag. It smells like a Louis Vuitton or something. It smells like, that's why I keep telling you it smells very expensive, because the ingredients they've used in this, I feel it's like very quality ingredients, or they're very synthetic ingredients and not the realistic ones, which is why I'm actually liking the leather note. Why am I being so breathless today? I have no idea. Okay, guys, I know like a lot of y'all have been telling me that my mojo is a little off, you know. So I have been like struggling with some issues, you know, sorting it out. Not a big deal, you know, and my health went for a toss off late, which is why in my last video I was a little bit not in the right spirits, you know, but I'm coming back and I'll be at my full glory soon. So, and I have a lot of stress about like starting my second channel, and I just don't get the time and I don't know what to do, you know. So yeah, I have a lot of ambition but no time. So this is a perfume which might be a little challenging to people as well, because you do have like a very dirty patchouli, earthy one, you know. You have your leather, which is also done very well, but nonetheless, it's leather, right? So it's a little challenging. And then you have your agarwood, but then you have a lot of other notes in this, like amber, vanilla, and everything that are balancing it out, making it like very well blended. You cannot individually smell any of the notes. It's all coming in like in a very perfumey way. It smells expensive. I don't know why. Like the moment I smelled this, I was like, Fazza. Fazza is our very, if you're not following the Crown Prince of Dubai, please go follow him. He's a poet. He's a photographer. He travels all the time, learns about different culture. He's extremely intelligent, and he is an endurance racer as well. So he takes part in a lot of endurance stuff. So he's like literally a role model for men, especially, you know. So yeah, just reminded me of him. Stunning perfume, 8+ hours, if not 24 hours of longevity. Projection is like 3 to 4 feet. Fall, winter for sure, or evenings, occasion wear. It definitely leans slightly masculine on the gender scale. So yeah, it might be a little challenging for some women, but if you don't mind earthy perfumes with a little bit of leather and everything. But this is definitely not in the category of your Ana Abiyad leather. It's not that kind of masculine, right? This is like a very wearable masculine. Next we have one from Latafa. This is your Masa. I had to include this because this is a beautiful, strange, very complicated, very unique mango fragrance. Oh my goodness. So this was like a dupe for, supposedly a dupe for Ganymede, which by the way, I have like a little decat for. My gosh, I need to do that video as well, where I'm comparing everything side by side. This is a spicy, fruity, floral, earthy, woody. It's like everything, all types of perfumes combined into one. The weird part about this perfume is that you can smell throughout the perfume journey all the notes separately. Like if you try and focus on a certain note, especially if you're reading the notes and then if you try to figure it out, you'll smell it. But just like that, you will not smell those. But I promise you, when you smell this, you'll be like, I can smell so many different things. The top notes are mango, saffron, pink pepper, and lemon. Middle notes are osmanthus, violet leaf, orange blossom, and ginger. And the base notes of mineral notes, suede, patchouli, and amber. The mineral note in this, when I read this, by the way, I was like, oh no, because you know me, mineral notes, I'm scared of those. Metallic notes, mineral notes, like this notes that are there in Ajwad especially, like I'm very scared of that note, right? So I was a little skeptical when I read this and I was like, first of all, this perfume was not very cheap when I bought it. Now I'm sure it's like reasonably priced, but back then it was like, oh, wait till this just dries down. Give it like a couple of minutes to like settle down and then smell it. Oh my goodness. The mango is like almost like a mango powder or dried mango. You can smell that mineral note from the beginning till the end, but it's done. That mineral note is very, very precious. It's making this perfume smell precious and beautiful. You can also smell your saffron, pink pepper, lemon in the opening, but the middle notes is what's there predominantly, like for the longest time in the perfume journey, and then your base notes. So you do get your osmanthus, your violet leaf, orange blossom, ginger, but at the same time you have your animalic notes as well. You have a little bit of your suede, and then you have your amber and everything to sweeten it out a little bit. So this again I feel will be challenging. It's not going to be liked by everybody, but I don't know anybody who has bought Masa and has not liked it. But if you're looking for a perfume that smells very, very niche, this is one of those. Doesn't smell like anything you've smelled before unless you've smelled Ganymede, But it doesn't smell like anything you've smelled before. It's very unique. This is the kind of perfumes you expect from a niche house that should smell so different that you're like, what the, and this one is just that. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Amazing perfume. This on the perfume meter, again, I would feel like it is like slightly masculine. Actually, you know what? No, it's not. It's in the middle. It's in the middle. I think if I wear it, it'll smell feminine. If Ali wears it, it'll smell masculine. So I think it's like bang on in the center. It smells Middle Eastern, Oriental, spice route, silk route, everything. It's like that east of the world, It smells like all of it combined together. It's a very, very beautiful. Let me do two from Latafa. One is actually from Latafa and the other one is from Azdaf. So this one is from Latafa. This is your Ameer al Oudh Intense. Supposedly the by the fireplace dupe, but it's not really in my opinion. This is a smoky, sugary oud. That's it. The notes in this are woody notes and agarwood on the top. Middle notes is sugar and vanilla, and the base notes is again agarwood, sandalwood, and a little bit of herbal notes. So you do get the herbal notes in the form of little bit of aromatic. Smells like rosemary or thyme or something like that. Something from those, or slight bit of eucalyptus. There's something very aromatic about it, like herbal about it. But it's there in the background. But predominantly what you smell is that you're sitting by the fireplace and you've worn a very, very sweet oud perfume. This is literally a warm hug, a warm Middle Eastern hug. You're sitting in the desert, it's cold, it's freezing, and then you have a bonfire and you're wearing oud. You're surrounded by your tents and your camels, and you're sitting under the starry sky and you're sipping on like kahwa or something, It's a very, very beautiful fragrance. It smells very comforting. When I wear this ever, whether it's in summer, winter, fall, whenever, it's a very fall winter fragrance, by the way. But even in summer when I wear this, I just feel very comforted. I feel relaxed. It's a very strange, comforting scent. You know how you feel when you have hot chocolate? You know how you feel inside, warm and fuzzy? I feel like that when I spray this perfume on myself. So yeah, just think of it as a very sugary vanilla oud with a little bit of smokiness. Not incense, smokiness. Again, for me, this will always be my 10 out of 10 fragrance. If it finishes, I don't know when it's going to finish, but whenever it does, because this one is again super potent, insane, and again, very, very unisex. Guy wears it, suddenly it becomes like a very macho perfume, and then a girl wears it, it becomes like a very like, ah, soft feminine, you know. The next one is along the same lines, and this is your Majd Al Sultan by Azdaf. I think you guys must have known that this is going to come because this is a very, very unisex perfume, and it does smell somewhat like Ameer al Oudh, but I'll tell you the difference. Think of like the aromatics being super pronounced in this one, yeah? And then your base notes is your Ameer al Oudh. When you mix Ameer al Oudh and this one, by the way, also it smells excellent. But this one, it's definitely very, very aromatic. So you do smell frankincense and rosemary as well. Like I can clearly smell that, but I think it's not mentioned in the notes. Let me check. So in the notes it says smoke and tobacco for sure. You can smell the tobacco, but not like in a cigarette way, or it smells like sweet tobacco. And then you have your incensiness in the top, which is again very, very sweet. Your smokiness. Then they have myrrh, pepper and saffron, which is like a very unique, I can't even imagine. And then in the base you have more resins, amber, fir and cedar. Yes, it is definitely on the gender meter slightly masculine for sure. But I love wearing this on myself. Again, it just makes me feel very, very precious. It makes me feel expensive, makes me feel different. I just like, I guess this is like probably my favorite smoky aromatic, you know, smoky aromatic resinous perfume. It's definitely like, think if I don't even want to say much about this. It literally smells like aromatics, resins and smokiness. That's it, you know, and it is definitely quite sweet as well, but not as sweet as your Ameer al Oudh. That's why if you want to add a little bit more sweetness to this, it becomes slightly more feminine. And the combination of these two, by the way, my goodness. Now, when I'm spraying these perfumes, I'm like, I should just wear this perfume today. You know, I said the same thing about the Amber Gold as well. No, Creation did Reve. Oh my goodness, these two together is something else. Oh my God, it's like, they like complete each other, you know. Oof. It's like a Arabian, but not like king and queen, but it's probably like the Bedouin, you know, feminine and masculine, but they're alphas, both of them, like a tribal union. What am I, you know, sometimes my brain and my imagination just goes in a very strange place. But can you please see how stained the strip has gotten? Be very careful because this is going to stain your clothes. Today my stole is, it has a life of its own. It's going like everywhere. Let's switch it up a bit because I've been talking about Latafa too long. Next we have Kaheela Lux by Paris Corner. This is one of those Paris Corner perfumes that was recommended by Nikki. And I am so happy that she insisted I should get this. So this one is your dupe for Kayali's Invite Only Amber. Wow. This is again a very, very complicated, very sophisticated perfume. Smells like old money. Like I always say this. I think last time also when I reviewed this perfume, I was like, this smells like old money. The top notes for this are sweet almond and apple. Middle notes of cedarwood, cinnamon, hay, orris, patchouli and rose. And the base notes of amber, benzoin, cistus, labdanum, musk and sandalwood. How do I describe this perfume? Besides the fact that it smells like Invite Only. Starts off not with just your sweet almond and apple. It has some element of tobacco also, which is not mentioned over here, with amber. And then yes, you start getting your woody notes like cedarwood, sandalwood. You have your earthiness with the patchouli. Then you have your whole lot of spices. I mean, it's like a whole medley of like God knows what and what. But it smells again very comforting. It has a vibe about it that smells slightly vintage as well. So maybe not for everybody. Try it before you use it because it definitely leans vintage. Kind of reminds me of what was that perfume by Guerlain? Was it? I'll try to put a picture somewhere over here. So yeah, it's definitely amber heavy, which will make you feel like it's vintage. But it has some modern elements at the background because it has all these Middle Eastern notes, like especially labdanum and the rose in this is very, very Middle Eastern. So yeah, again, this is a 10 out of 10. I do feel this has matured and macerated very, very quickly. I think my bottle already came macerated because it's not a new perfume. It's an old perfume. It's an old formula. This does lean slight bit more masculine, slightly a little bit more masculine. What's causing that masculineness in this is, of course, that labdanum, first of all, the tobacco note I'm mentioning to you. Plus, it's boozy. It almost smells like whiskey or something like, not whiskey, wait, not bourbon. It smells like bourbon, or vanilla bourbon, along with like a lot of spices. So you feel like it's leaning a little masculine. But whenever I've worn this, people compliment me, and nobody has ever told me that you smell like a man. Yeah. So it does like change on your skin. You start smelling like, imagine me being dressed up like this and wearing this perfume. Nobody's gonna tell me that I'm smelling like a man. With this, it's just strangely very Arabian. It reminds me of like Arabian Nights kind of vibe. It also kind of gives me an angel share as well. I think it's also because of that boozy apple cinnamon, that kind of, it's kind of like coming from there as well. So it's strange. It reminds me of Arabian Stonka. It reminds me of Kiali's Invite Only. Plus it reminds me of Angel Share. So yeah, it's definitely in that genre. Next we have two perfumes from Latafa. Oh, I just circled back. Okay, actually my last three perfumes are Latafa. I'm going to mention these two perfumes together. This is your Ajayeb Dubai Portrait and Ajayeb Dubai. So this was supposed to be for men and this one's supposed to be unisex or something, or was it both of them were unisex? Now a lot of people do not like this perfume, okay? They don't like this, or they like this, they don't like this, or most people do not like both of these. So please, I'll tell you how I like to wear this perfume. Not this individually and this individually. I like to combine both of them. And I'm going to give you a review today of both of these combined, because this is when it smells the most unisex and the most pleasant. Oh my word. So you have orange, lemon. Mango is not mentioned, but I can smell mango. I can smell pineapple. But I think that orange lemon together kind of like gives you the feeling that it's mango. Oh no, wait, there is mango in it. Okay, let me tell you the notes for Ajayeb Portrait first, which is the Dubai Portrait. It's the white one. It has orange, lemon, jasmine, mango, osmanthus, amber, sandalwood, oud and musk. Can't really smell the oud. But because I already combined it with this, if I smell this alone, it kind of smells like oudi popcorn to me. And it's not going to make anybody any sense, but it smells very earthy, oudi and popcorn. Like, I know a lot of people don't get that popcorn vibe from this, but I do. The notes for the black one, it's saffron and pineapple in the opening, so I was right. Okay, there's pineapple. My god, sometimes I mess up my notes so much. Middle notes of coffee and violet leaves, and the base notes of butterscotch, vanilla and popcorn. I think because of the butterscotch, I'm feeling that popcorn, the sweet popcorn, caramel popcorn, that kind of vibe. Let me see what they compare this to. They're comparing this to, I think, Black Phantom. Yeah, they're comparing this to Black Phantom. The Ajayeb Dubai Portrait is compared to God of Fire. So God of Fire mixed with Black Phantom is the combination I'm going for. Very unisex. I like to wear it. Like, I would wear this, Ali would wear this. If I'm going alone, I put it both together and it's amazing. Both of them individually is also very, very nice. I absolutely love this one. This one, like, it's nice, but it's very, very masculine. So I don't gravitate towards this much, right? But these two together is when it's like a winner combination. So if you have both of these and if you've not tried it together, please do. It's amazing. It smells like your fruits. The opening stays like for the longest time, but then it dries down. And when I say your fruits, it's like your lemon, orange, mango, pineapple, everything together. Then it starts fading off. Then you get this caramel popcorn vibe. You get slight bit of animalic notes. You get the earthy notes. The oud in this smells like if you walk into an oud store, which is just full of oud chips, but they're different sorts. It just smells very, very expensive and luxurious. I just know, like, the smell is, I've smelled it somewhere in Dubai, but I don't know what it reminds me of. To be like, if I could just put my finger on it, what it reminds me of when everything is combined. It does kind of remind me of the mall, especially when you pass by the section where there's the cinema as well. So you get that slight popcorny vibe as well, but then you have your different oud perfumes which everybody is wearing. It's just a mixed bag of a lot of beautiful things, and which is why I absolutely adore the combination of these perfumes. Next we have, obviously, Khamrah Qahwa. So I do like the original version as well, the Khamrah, but ever since I got this one, I have kind of abandoned Khamrah by itself. Used up not so much, but for the amount of perfumes I have, it's not bad. This is literally your Khamrah perfume, so your Angel Share, along with your Qahwa coffee, which is, if you've not had Qahwa coffee, you will never be able to understand what it is. The simplest way I can define it is like, think of like Arabic coffee, the Arabic coffee beans, with cinnamon, cardamom, ginger. Then think of like a little bit of like sticky dates kind of scent. And then you have your booziness of angel share of like, think of it as a vanilla bourbon. Add like a little bit of like tonka and vanilla in it, and maybe a little bit of musk, and that's your perfume. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. The top notes for this are ginger, cinnamon and cardamom. It's literally what you put in the coffee when you prepare the kahwa coffee. Middle notes are praline, candied fruits and white florals. I don't know where the candied fruits and white florals are, but I'm assuming that's the sweetness I'm getting. And the base notes are coffee, tonka bean, benzoin, vanilla and musk. These are the sweet gourmand notes in the base, right? So stunning, so stunning. Like, I'm getting so tempted to put all these perfumes on myself. Like, every perfume I'm trying right now, I'm like, I want to wear this today, you know? So I'm very confused, like, after filming, which one will I like spray on myself, like, you know? This is a 10 out of 10 fragrance for me. It's amazing. And this one, again, like, if Khamrah was too masculine for you, this is actually a very, very unisex perfume, because it does have like a balanced sweetness, and also because of that little spicy, the spiciness, but it's there in like a very gourmand way. The spiciness is not spicy as in like your masculine fragrance. It's spicy as in it's your edible spicy, you know, but in the spices that you put in sweets, especially Middle Eastern sweets. We are on the last one, yay! And that's your Emeer. Okay, this one is a very not safe perfume. I like it. It is definitely unisex. Not many people will agree with me, but it is. It's a very green perfume. Smells like tiger, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see what it is smelling like, because this is definitely not your tiger. Okay, Emeer is there on Fragrantica. This has got 4.26. The top notes are lemon, bergamot, clary sage and juniper berries. Middle notes of white tea, sandalwood, cardamom and olibanum. And then your base notes of ambergris, cedarwood, patchouli and cashmere. So off the bat you would say, yeah, this is definitely a very masculine fragrance, right? Let me see if they've classified this as, see, it says for men and women, so it's classified as unisex. It's a woody aromatic for sure, with like a lot of citruses, and the citruses are very prominent. The citruses are almost bitter. Let me see what they're comparing this to. They're comparing this to Clive Christian's Town and Country. I have no idea. I don't have the dare to go inside the Clive Christensen showroom and try and smell it. I'm just trying to see if I know any other perfumes from here. They're also comparing this to Saphir by Latafa, which I absolutely hated. If you know, you know that story. It is the strangest form of perfume. Like, think of like lemon and bergamot in the opening. And then you have your sage, clary sage with juniper berries. It's almost something like an alchemist or a witch doctor or something, making concoctions or something. And then you have the middle notes, which are very oriental. You have your cardamom, your white tea, sandalwood and olibanum. This is like oriental. And then in the base you have ambergris, cashmere and patchouli and cedarwood, where all the comfort starts coming in after all the like very sharp notes and everything. Surprisingly, it's not as sharp as you would expect it to be, despite of you having lemon, bergamot, clary sage and juniper berry, which normally like acts very sharp, right, to the nose. Initially, when I bought it, it was very sharp, yeah. And then I knew you need to give this some time. Plus, there was some magic about it. Like from the get-go, I was like, this is beautiful. And Ali also likes this, but very occasionally. In the beginning, he did not like it. He was like, whoa, that is way too like spicy kind of aromatics. And he was like, no, I don't think I can wear this. But now when he smelled it, he was like, you know what? Sometimes I will gravitate towards it. I have actually finished up quite a bit of this perfume. I don't know if you can tell. This is the only perfume from the lot that I would prefer wearing during summer. It kind of makes you feel like it's some kind of cleansing ritual or something, you know. But then you also have like a lot of woodiness and everything, which comes in a little later, along with like a little bit of sweetness. So this is not a very sweet fragrance. I do feel like if I combine this with floral perfumes, especially rosy florals, it's going to be like a much better perfume. So on the gender scale, it is like leaning quite a bit masculine, but I would still consider this as a unisex because I personally love using this, and women who do not mind smelling a little bit strongly of citruses and everything, you will like this. The projection for this is like 2 to 3 feet. Longevity, I would say, is like 7 to 8 hours, you know. You do need to top it off, but you know, it's like the dry down is what I like a lot. So if you want to start the perfume journey from scratch, where the whole citrus thing comes into the picture again, you're most welcome to do it. But for me, once I spray it, I don't like to top it off with this perfume. I like to layer it with other perfumes then. And that's it for today, guys. You know what? My brain, my mouth, my senses, everything is hurting. I have assaulted my nose so much like that I'll have to go through a detox. Like, I've sprayed very strong perfumes. I'm surprised I'm not choking myself out right now because the room must be smelling of all these perfumes together. I wish I could make you smell my room right now. I'm sure when Ali comes back, he's gone for his weekly cricket match. When he comes back, I'm sure he's going to tell me the room is smelling amazing because all these perfumes combined and the amount of perfume I've sprayed around me, it smells like a showroom, a perfume showroom, a Middle Eastern perfume showroom, because all these perfumes are very, very Middle Eastern, most of them at least. And they all smell expensive and very beautiful. So it does smell like a pricey Middle Eastern perfume shop, and I'm loving it, And I'm thinking now, what perfume should I wear? It's so tempting to put all of them together. But I'm not going to do that, especially because Marcus is around me. Guys, I'm going to stop talking right now because I'm tired. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.